Welcome to Stories from the Lost and Found. I'm Krishna Avalon, subconscious therapist, breakthrough coach, and acupuncturist, someone who spent 24 years helping people change from the inside out. I bridge neuroscience and ancient medicine together to show you what's actually driving your life, because it's almost never what's on the surface. Each week we'll go deep into the patterns, wounded parts, and the real stories behind why we get stuck and how we find our way through. If you're ready for honesty, depth, and tools that actually work, you're in the right place. I am so glad you're here. I want to start with something that I hear constantly from the people who find me and find their way to my work. The clients I work with are smart, genuinely self-aware. They've often done therapy, often many years of it. They've read books. They might understand attachment theory. They can trace patterns back to exactly the right moment in lives where triggers and wounds happened. They might even have a language for all of it. And yet the pattern is still running. The inner critic is still there. The self-doubt still shows up before the big moment. They still say yes when they mean to say no. They still freeze when it's time to choose. Somewhere underneath the frustration, there's a question they're almost afraid to ask. What if this is just how I am? I'm here to tell you that it's not. I'm here to tell you why, specifically, neurologically, and practically, what actually changes it. My name is Krishna. I'm a subconscious therapist, a breakthrough coach, an internal family systems practitioner, Psych K facilitator, and a doctor of Oriental medicine. My practice is grounded in neuroscience, nature, and ancient medicine. I have spent 24 years very intentionally cultivating a simple and unique process that helps you immediately move forward without having to relive your past. My specialty is the subconscious mind, the place where we create 95% of our lives. The subconscious stores our patterns, our behaviors, our memories, and our perceptions. This is why I'm obsessed. We do not have to spend our entire lives in therapy talking about the same things over and over again. Even from the most difficult patterns or memories, you can move forward right now. Early in my practice, when I was doing primarily acupuncture, I kept noticing something. My patients would get better physically, chronic tension, fatigue, digestive issues, maybe even fertility, pain that didn't have a clear structural cause. We'd work on it, it would get better, and then often it would come back. The body was holding something that the treatments weren't reaching, which was really starting to say something because my patients always got better. And I started asking myself, what was beneath the surface? Not at the level of insight or understanding, but the level of the subconscious programs. Internal family systems and Psych K are the two frameworks that I get to use to guide people. They started answering this question that I had very precisely. Unhealed trauma gets stored in the body. It's why conditions that are chronic manifest and don't go away until they have a way to be released from the body. This is why talk therapy can't touch them. So while we might intellectually understand why we are and why things happen, we often stay stuck, unable to move forward. Everything I do, every session, every piece of content in this podcast comes from those lenses of training. And this show is for you if you recognize yourself in any of this. You've done the work, real work, and you're still hitting the same wall. You understand where your patterns come from, and understanding hasn't been enough to change them. You're successful by many external measures, and there's a persistent, quiet voice, maybe a loud voice, that says you're one mistake away from it all falling apart. You're the person everyone depends on, and somewhere underneath that, you're exhausted. You make decisions or avoid making them from a place that doesn't feel like the truest version of you. You've wondered if this is just your personality, if this is just anxiety. Some people are just more prone to this than others. And here's what I want to say about that directly. Those are not personality traits. They are the subconscious programs that were installed, usually very early in life, when our brains are more malleable and impressionable. And then those programs get reinforced from society, from our peers, as we go on in life. But these programs can be changed, and it does not take decades. It doesn't take willpower. It doesn't take more understanding. You just need the right tool to get to the level where these programs live. In internal family systems, we refer to your system as having parts, and we all have several parts of us. I'll get into that more in a minute. That's about giving insight on tools in a way that I hope will truly land and help you move forward. For me, IFS and Psych K were the tools I had been waiting for all of my life. There is a reason that smart, self-aware people stay stuck. It's not a character flaw. It is a structural problem that most of the approaches don't work with. In IFS and Psych K, we are not trying to bypass or make parts of us go away, not even programs. We are getting to the place that is wounded, helping your parts and helping your subconscious mind go in a new direction and move forward. Your conscious mind controls 5% of your life. The other 95% is your subconscious habits, automatic reactions, core beliefs about who you are and what you deserve, emotional programs that fire faster than thought ever could. By the time you're aware of a reaction or a pattern of feeling, the subconscious has already processed the situation and run the relevant program. Most of what passes for personal development works at that 5%. It holds the understanding, develops the language, creates insight. And insight is genuinely valuable. I am not dismissing it. But this is why you can spend years in therapy, understanding exactly where a pattern came from, have compassion for your younger self, and still find yourself triggered, reactive, and stuck in the same dynamic. It's not because therapy didn't work. It's because understanding a pattern and changing it at the subconscious level are two totally different things. Every episode of the show is going to give you something concrete, not just concepts or information. We all have plenty of information. We need the tools. We need the integration space in healing. Frameworks, practices, time and space that you can use that help you move forward, that support you at the level that you need. We'll go deep into the neuroscience of why change is hard in some of my episodes with guests and what makes it possible to move forward. We're going to lock in core patterns that I see running in almost every high-achieving self-aware person I work with. The inner critic, self-doubt, people-pleasing, imposter syndrome, overgiving, indecision, and inaction. We're going to talk about the body, how it stores what the mind has processed, and why somatic work is not optional if you want change that actually sticks and is long-lasting. I'm going to be honest with you in a way that I think is sometimes missing from this space. I'll tell you what works and what the limitations are. I'll tell you when something is regulation versus actual change. I'll tell you what in-the-moment tools can and cannot do. You do not need to understand better. You just need the right tool and space to implement. And that's what I want to offer you. So I want to end with a practice, that space to integrate, because that's what this podcast will offer. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. And a long exhale out. And do that again. If it feels right for you, if it feels natural, put a hand on your chest or your heart. Take another deep breath. And slow down. We're going to be practicing that it's safe to be present, safe to slow down. It's safe for you to notice what's happening inside yourself right now. And now tuning into what you notice, a feeling, a sensation, or a thought. Just noticing. Notice where you feel that in your body. Take another deep breath. Ask yourself if you can be with this right now. You're not trying to change anything or fix anything. You are simply noticing and then staying with yourself. Now notice what you're believing. What are you telling yourself right now? As you notice this sensation or feeling. And then once you know what that is, then you ask yourself, do I 100% know that that is true? Can I say with 100% certainty that what I'm believing is true right now? And usually the answer is no, but it is totally fine if it's yes. Yes or no is your answer. And stay with yourself there. Letting that part of you know that you see it and that you're present with it, that you notice it. Oftentimes these parts of us are told to go away. They're a part of us that was dismissed. They're a fear that's running the show. We want to practice noticing and being with it. Letting it know it's not alone, that we're present. We also want to notice if what we're believing is true. So you're staying with that self that needs you. You're also noticing very likely that what you're believing is not true. And so from here, and this is the neuroplasticity piece, this is the part that helps you go in a new direction. Even as you stay with the part of you that needs your attention, you ask yourself, what do I need right now? And that's where you go from here. It might be support. It might be to trust yourself a little more. It might be to stand up and take a breath, relax your shoulders. It might just be a drink of water. But whatever it is, this is your practice. Focusing on what you need. Focusing on the part of you that needs your attention and letting it know like, oh, hey, I see you. What do you need right now? Also practicing where these parts of you show up in your body. Take another deep breath. Once you practice this several times, you'll know it by heart. And this practice can change your life. So episode 1 is up next. We're going to start with the inner critic, where it comes from at the subconscious level, what it's protecting, what your body is doing before you even hear it in your thoughts, and what internal family systems and Psych K each can do to actually change it rather than manage it. So if you want to start now before the next episode, there is a free workbook on my website, krishnaavalon.com. It has a specific exercise if you like reflection, if you like journal prompts, helps you identify which pattern is the most dominant for you and what it's actually costing you to stay the same. It takes about 20 minutes, and it's the kind of clarity that most people haven't gotten after years of self-work, because most approaches don't ask the right questions at the subconscious level. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. That's a wrap on today's episode of Stories from the Lost and Found. If something here resonated with you, the best thing you can do is share it. Send this to someone who really needs to hear it. And if you are ready to go deeper, I would love to support you. Download my free workbook. It walks you through your own subconscious blocks. You can find that link in the show notes. Or if you're ready for a real shift, book a free strategy call and let's figure out what is keeping you from moving forward. I'll see you next week. Your next breakthrough is closer than you think.